All right, welcome back, extraterrestrials, to the X-Files franchise breakdown. It's the end of season 1, the final season, the finale of season 1.
We made it.
We made it. We really barely made it with the two previous episodes, but so this one is season 1, episode 24. As we said, or as I said, it's the finale. And it is a good one. It is what you hope every episode is. Mm-hmm. It is jam-packed with everything.
Yeah.
The plot line will be in the description of the video. So let's just jump into it. From the very beginning of this episode, you can tell shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
Things are a little bit different in this episode. They feel different. This feels like this is not a throwaway episode. This is something that you need to pay close attention to. And I did not fall asleep in this one.
And the cinematography was great.
Yeah. This whole episode is an example of what the X-Files, the reason people have the love for the X-Files that they do, including ourselves. You get lost in other episodes and people love the monster of the week, but this is X-Files at its core. Yeah. So we see the episode open with Deep Throat calling Mulder saying,
Nope.
Nope.
Car chase.
Okay. We see the episode open with Deep Throat calling Mulder and saying, hey, turn on the TV. And Mulder's sleeping on his couch like usual. And he turns on the TV and he's like, what am I looking at? Moments before that, we see that there's a car chase. We see that the car goes off into the water. And now Mulder's watching the news report from that incident. Deep Throat basically tells him to investigate this one.
Yeah.
And Mulder doesn't really see why. And when he tells Scully, she doesn't really see why.
Yeah, Scully's skeptical because of the last time they trusted Deep Throat, they were lied to.
Exactly. And so for good reason, obviously. And they do a little bit of investigating. The local police lie to them. They find out that the car that got dumped in the water is not the one that's at the junkyard, and it kicks their senses on as to something is going on. What is it?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Do you want to be a part of this?
I'm listening to your description. Yeah. Well, okay. We find out that the car is not the car that was on the news broadcast. We find out it's from a doctor in some laboratory that got crazy monkeys. I do like that when Scully is being like, why are we doing this? And she gets all pissed at Mulder and she goes into the ladies' room.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, she's sitting behind that door like, fuck you, I don't got to deal with this shit. Nah. But yeah, Mulder's just, he's had enough. Deep Throat comes and it's like, I thought you would be doing more investigative work dealing with this stuff. And Mulder's just like, yeah, it just kind of sucks and stuff. And
he's basically like, you're not giving us anything to go on.
Yeah.
And Deep Throat does this thing like, you've never been closer.
Yeah. And then we go to, like, Deep Throat gives him a little bit more. He goes to the doctor's house after the doctor's been murdered by these randos that are around the, like...
The doctor's not murdered.
The doctor murdered. That guy came in, didn't he?
That was after he was at the house.
Well, no, I'm talking about the monkey doctor.
Monkey doctor gets murdered.
Yeah. And then Mulder goes to his house, finds the keys, makes a phone call on there, does investigating in a storage unit, finds a bunch of bodies. Meanwhile, Scully is finding about this bacteria that's old, and one of the greatest lines is, it's not of this nature. It's extraterrestrial. And then they just have like this close up of Scully's face.
Mm-hmm.
Then okay, Mulder gets chased down by the guys in suits, the men in black. After the storage unit.
We're not selling this episode right now.
Because there's a ton of shit in this. There's a lot of
shit.
stuff in the. Basically, trust no one.
Yeah. That's where the first time this line is said in the show. And it's said by a dying Deep Throat to Scully.
I think another one of my favorite parts in this episode is Scully gets to see an alien. Mm-hmm. Scully's the first one to see an actual alien.
Yeah.
Not Mulder.
Yeah.
But she lifts this frozen alien up out of the jar or whatever it's in. And my brain went, do you think Scully was like, look at that poor baby's head?
All right. So there's a lot of firsts in this episode. Like Jerry mentioned, Scully finds out that aliens are real.
Yes.
She sees her first alien. She starts to see that the government covers things up.
Yeah.
She starts to see that the government is doing experiments with alien DNA on humans.
Yes.
She sees that the bacteria that she's investigating at Georgetown is extraterrestrial. And
were those clones of the exact same guy, or were those just?
I don't think so.
Oh,
It didn't seem like it to me.
Okay.
They might be clones of, each individual person, but I don't know. I didn't get the sense that they were all the same person. But the one tank was empty, so
Yeah.
that's probably that doctor from the first.
Yeah, that's
segment.
him. He escaped. Who did more work in this episode? Was it Mulder or Scully? Who do you feel did more?
Oh, Scully by far.
Yeah, Scully once more.
Everything that she did was super important.
Yeah.
Mulder does his basic detective work and, follows, the guidelines or the procedures of being a detective. She kind of is the one that goes off and does, the important foundation to what they find out later.
Yeah.
So,
And then Mulder gets caught eventually by these guys.
Yeah.
And it's Scully once more dealing with this shit that she's got to deal with. And this is her first introduction to Deep Throat, too.
well, she met him before, but because he even says, "Hello, Scully, we met briefly." When he first walks into the empty storage locker,
Oh, okay.
he dresses her and he's like, "We've met briefly."
Yeah.
And then, lays it all out. And she's even the one that's like, "Fuck you, we still don't believe you."
Yeah.
But
What else do we have? We
we need to go in chronological order of different things. Well, whatever. We're already 9 minutes into it.
Yeah, I mean, we got a good amount. I mean, we've chronologically ordered it.
Okay.
But the peak of the episode, we lose Deep Throat in this episode.
That's the peak of the episode for you?
I think so.
You
Really
like this character.
I think he's the opposite of the Smoking Man.
Okay.
Because if you want to say, the Smoking Man and him are opposite sides of a coin. Mm-hmm. One is there to make sure that Mulder doesn't succeed. The other is there to make sure that Mulder does succeed, And I like that idea, that there are these two opposing forces that are so great in the government. It's just like this one suppresses everything. This one gives information to a person who can see it come to light, Mm-hmm. I think at one time, Deep Throat was like the Smoking Man.
Well, yeah, they were all part of the syndicate.
Yeah. I think, there was that, but there's now a part of him that says, I'm tired of this hiding in the shadows thing. The only way I'm going to be able to get out of this is by helping Mulder, basically. And I don't know. It's just the character. Every time you see him in an episode, you know that it's going to be a great episode. There's never been an episode this season where he's been on there and it's been like, it was a ghost the whole time controlling a little girl.
That episode really annoyed Jerry. I mean, yeah, we see a lot of firsts, and for you, that's the big moment. He dies at the end, and that is a huge moment. But they put a cliffhanger on the end of this episode with the X-Files is shut down.
Yes.
Came directly from Skinner, which means it came directly from the Smoking Man. It is shut down. It is no more.
Yeah. They are going to be reassigned.
Yeah, they're going to be reassigned. And everything in this episode shows how quickly it can all go away.
Yeah.
Everything that they went through, I think that they got so much information and they saw so much, especially Scully with seeing a whole ass baby alien.
Yeah.
Like, now there's no denying for Scully. There's no, well, there's a logical reason or my faith this or that. No, none of that. This is what it is. You held it in your hand.
Yep.
Like,
It's over. What do you think was the shut it down? Shut the show down.
what part of it?
But would you think it was Mulder's tampering with Deep Throat? Do you think it was the fact that Mulder and Scully were probably found on a bridge with this high operative government's operative?
No, I don't think it was really any of that. I think it was just they came so damn close. They're starting to get the big picture now. Before, Deep Throat was always handing them little bits and pieces to steer them in the right direction.
Yeah.
In this one, he outright goes, I will get you into a facility. You need to get this in exchange for his life because these people, the Men in Black, are doing DNA experiments and they need more alien DNA. So I think that all the information that they've gathered, Mulder and Scully both, together, there's no denying it. There's no skepticism in Scully.
Yeah.
And now they're both going to go after the whole, the whole government cover-up, the whole conspiracy. Yeah, they know now. And especially now that Scully can't be the watchdog for Mulder and report back because she knows. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, screw it. This is over. Let's shut it down now. Let's reassign them. Let's get them away from each other because we can't have them go any further now.
Yeah.
They can't learn anymore. So let's just stop it all.
Yep. And I think, it's definitely, I think it was the fact that they are becoming too dangerous. Mm-hmm. They are becoming too dangerous to inside forces.